Welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Computer and Information Sciences, SOCIS, Certificate Programs. Certificate in Mobile Application Development, CMAD. BCS-092 Introduction to Databases. Block-1 Database System Basic Concepts and Models. Unit-1 Introduction to Database System. 1.1 Introduction. In the present time, database systems are used to electronically store all the data of an organization. Databases allow data sharing and integrate data of an organization. In this unit, we are going to be introduced to the basic concepts of database systems. This is an introductory unit where we are going to learn about the definition of a database, its characteristics, classification, functions and user types which are involved in using the database. 1.2 Objectives. Upon completion of this unit, you should be able to describe what a database is and how it functions. Outline various properties of a database. Explain the roles of different database end users. Compare and contrast the different databases based on their classification. 1.3 Terminologies. Database, organized set of data in a computer. DDBMS, Database Management System, a software used to manage database, data, raw facts, information, processed data. Centralized DB, centralized database is a database which is located and managed in one single site. DBA database administrator performs all activities related to maintaining a successful database environment. 1.4 Databases, definition and characteristics. This section introduces you to some of the basic definitions and characteristic of database system. The next subsection defines the term database. 1.4.1 What is database? A database is a shared collection of related data used to support the activities of a particular organization. A database can be viewed as a repository of data that is defined once and then accessed by various users as shown in Figure 1.1. Look at the screen. Figure 1.1. A database is a repository of data, by a what? It may be noted in Figure 1.1 that database is a vast collection of data, on which large number of application programs can be developed, and a large number of users may be able to use the data of a database. Please also note that these application programs or user may be allowed to use only part data of database. 1.4.2 Characteristics of a database. There are a number of characteristics that distinguish the database approach with the file-based approach. The following are the characteristics, features, and benefits of the database systems. 1. Self-describing nature of a database system. A database system is referred to as self-describing because it not only contains the database itself, but also metadata which defines and describes the data and relationships between tables in the database. This information is used by the DBMS software or database users, if needed. This separation of data and information about the data makes a database system totally different from the traditional file-based system in which the data definition is part of the application programs. 2. Insulation between program and data. In the file-based system, the structure of the data files is defined in the application programs, so if a user wants to change the structure of a file, all the programs that access that file might need to be changed as well. On the other hand, in the database approach, the structure of data is stored as metadata in the system catalog and not in the programs. Therefore, one change is all that is needed. 3. Support multiple views of data. A view is a subset of the database which is defined and dedicated for particular users of the system. Multiple users in the system might have different views of the system. Each view might contain only the data of interest to a user or a group of users, refer to Figure 1.1. 4. Multi-user system. A multi-user database system must allow multiple users access to the database at the same time. As a result, the multi-user DBMS must have concurrency control strategies to ensure several users access to the same data item at the same time, and to do so in a manner that the data will always be correct. 5. Control data redundancy. In the database approach, Ideally, each data item is stored in only one place in the database. In some cases, redundancy still exists so as to improve system performance, but such redundancy is controlled and kept to minimum. 6. Data sharing. The integration of the whole data in an organization leads to the ability to produce more information from a given amount of data. 7. Enforcing integrity constraints. DBMSs should provide capabilities to define and enforce certain constraints, such as data type and data uniqueness, to ensure the correctness of data. These constraints are also known as data integrity constraints. 8. Restricting unauthorized access. Not all users of the system have the same accessing privileges. DBMSs should provide a security subsystem to create and control the user accounts. 9. Data independence. System data, metadata, descriptions are separated from the application programs. Changes to the data structure is handled by the DBMS and not embedded in the program. 10. Transaction processing. The DBMS must include concurrency control subsystems to ensure that several users trying to update the same data do so in a controlled manner. The results of any updates to the database must maintain consistency and validity. 11. Providing backup and recovery facilities. If the computer system fails in the middle of a complex update process, the recovery subsystem is responsible for making sure that the database is restored to the stage it was in before the process started executing. 1.5 Functions of a database. Today, databases are widely being used by different organizations whereby application depends on their specific requirements and business needs. In summary, this section will outline functions of a database so that there is greater understanding of why an individual or an organization would want to use a database management system. These functions includes but not limited to organize and store data, to provide facilitation for analysis and modeling, to process given data and turn it into information, to explore data using exploratory techniques, to support organizational activities. 1.6 Database usage and environment. Database usage is almost everywhere in different aspects of everyday life. The following are some of the applications in which databases are used in carrying out organizational activities. Banking, assist in carrying out banks' customers' financial transactions. Airlines, provide flexible means of flight scheduling and reservations. Universities, platform for registration and grades recording for students. Sales, storing customer, products and purchases details. Manufacturing, organizing data on production, inventory, orders and the whole supply chain. 1.7 Database users. These are people whose jobs require access to a database for querying, updating, and generating reports. An end user might be one of the following. Application user. The application user uses the existing application programs to perform their daily tasks. Sophisticated user. Sophisticated users are those who have their own way of accessing the database. This means they do not use the application program provided in the system. Instead, they might define their own application or describe their need directly by using query languages. These specialized users maintain their personal databases by using ready-made program packages that provide easy-to-use menu-driven commands, such as MS Access. Application programmers. Application programmers are technical personnel who implement specific application programs to access to the stored data. This kind of user needs to be familiar with the DBMSs to accomplish their task. Database administrators. Database administrators can be a one person or a group of people in the organization who is responsible for authorizing the access to the database, monitoring its use and managing all the resources to support the use of the whole database system. 1.8 Classification of DBMSs. Database management systems can be classified based on several criteria, such as the data model, user numbers and database distribution as explained in this section. 1.8.1 Data model. The most popular data model in use today is the relational data model. Well-known DBMSs like Oracle, MS SQL Server, DB2 and MySQL support this model. Other traditional models, such as hierarchical data models and Network data models are still used in industry mainly on mainframe platforms. However, they are not commonly used due to their complexity. These are all referred to as traditional models because they preceded the relational model. In recent years, the newer object-oriented data models were introduced. This model is a database management system in which information is represented in the form of objects as used in object-oriented programming. Object-oriented databases are different from relational databases which are table-oriented. Object-oriented database management systems, OODBMS, combine database capabilities with object-oriented programming language capabilities. The object-oriented models have not caught on as expected, so are not in widespread use. Some examples of object-oriented DBMSs are O2, Object Store, and Jasmine. 1.8.2 Number of users. A DBMS can be classification based on the number of users it supports. It can be a single-user database system, which supports one user at a time, or a multi-user database system, which supports multiple users concurrently. 1.8.3 Distribution. There are 4 main distribution systems for database systems, and these, in turn, can be used to classify the DBMS. I. Centralized systems. With a centralized database system, the DBMS and database are stored at a single site that is used by several other systems too. This is illustrated in Figure 1.2. Look at the screen. Figure 1.2. A centralized database system, by A. What? Please note that a database on a central computer can be accessed by many workstations, which may be either directly connected to central computer or may be connected over a computer network. In the early 1980s, many Canadian libraries used the GEAC 8000 to convert their manual card catalogs to machine-readable centralized catalog systems. Each book catalog had a barcode field similar to those on supermarket products. 2. Distributed database system. In a distributed database system, the actual database and the DBMS software are distributed from various sites that are connected by a computer network as shown in Figure 1.3. Thus, on each site a DBMS may be used. Figure 1.3. A distributed database system. Look at the screen. 3. Homogeneous distributed database systems. Homogeneous distributed database systems use the same DBMS software from multiple sites. Data exchange between these various sites can be handled easily. For example, library information systems by the same vendor, such as GEAC Computer Corporation, use the same DBMS software which allows easy data exchange between the various GEAC library sites. 4. Heterogeneous distributed database systems. In a heterogeneous distributed database system, different sites might use different DBMS software, but there is additional common software to support data exchange between these sites. For example, the various library database systems use the same machine-readable cataloging (MARC) format to support library record data exchange. 1.8.4 Licensing. This applies in 2 different ways, which is either a database management system is open source or proprietary. Open source means that computer software with its source code is made available with a license in which the copyright holder provides the rights to study, change, and distribute the software to anyone and for any purpose. On the other hand, proprietary DBMS's creators and owners have all the rights to sell, modify or distribute. 1.8.5 Generic or special purpose. Generic DBMS's usage is not specific for any area of application, i.e., they can be used in any application environment. However, special purpose databases are types of databases which specifically designed for a special use. 1.11 Summary. In this unit you learned about the difference between data and information, database management systems, their properties, and usage and application environment. Finally, you have also learned about classification of database management systems. You must also watch the supported video as this explain these concepts. This unit introduces you to these topics. However, you may go through the further readings for more details these topics. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.